Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. James Hicks here from Hicks New Media and Infotainment News. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's a great day to do another great show. You guys are going to be in for a serious treat tonight. Let me start off kind of with the high level overview. So, Destination Aesthetics is arguably Sacramento's premier medical spa. They focus on non-surgical rejuvenation and transformation of the face and body. I am thrilled and honored to have their co-founder and CEO here with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about the industry in general. We're going to talk about how COVID has affected the business, maybe some key service offerings from the medical spa itself, and maybe get into some insight on what's next for Destination Aesthetics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shawna Chrisman. Shawna, how you doing?
Hi guys, I am doing great. Thank you, James, so much for having me on the show again. It's been a few years, but I just have to say that your intro video is amazing. So
that was it. Huh? That was a club banger right there, huh?
I know.
We were dancing behind the scenes.
I was already dancing. So yeah, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So we'll start with that, right? Because I believe it was back in 2010, 2011, right, when you first opened your first spa in Sacramento, and then we did an introduction to Destination Aesthetics at that particular time. Now you've got what? You got 4 locations?
We do. We have 4 locations. Yep. We have Elk Grove, Folsom, Roseville, and Sacramento, and we just opened Roseville right before we had to shut down for COVID. So we're happy to be back and be reopened, but this journey has definitely been a ride. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that, right? Because again, that's actually some phenomenal growth in that short period of time, right? To have 4 physical brick and mortar locations providing services. Talk a little bit about that growth, some of the challenges, and matter of fact, just some of the lessons that you've learned over this period of time.
Yeah, looking back, I think I was really soul searching and I didn't really know exactly what my true passion was. I was a nurse practitioner, I was working at Kaiser, I was working at Sutter, and I was having a great time working at both of those jobs, both professional, but I was kind of looking for something on the side. I actually had opened up a residential board and care facility for the elderly in Carmichael, and I owned that for 5 years, and I was still searching. So I started doing kind of Botox on the side and partnered up with a great medical director. And my husband at that point was literally like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You have 4 jobs. This is not what I signed up for. We were literally just talking about this just on the way back from our getaway this weekend. And he's like, I don't remember saying that. And I'm just like, I vividly remember you saying, what are you doing? You have all of these things going on. And I just basically said, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't clear at that point. It was just, I had my hands in a lot of pots. So it wasn't until I started treating people with cosmetic injectables where I really saw the power of how you can really enhance someone's mental and physical well-being at the same time doing just an elective cosmetic procedure. And it really was then that I realized that the power of what we do is so much more beyond the needle. And then slowly but surely, I started dropping, all of the other jobs and just really started focusing on Destination Aesthetics. And I just started in one room. It was just like a 10 by 12 room. And it just grew organically through the passion of, what I found in the procedures and the energy that I felt from the patients and the team. And literally, I just haven't looked back. It's just been an organic growth pattern that has just been, honestly, the ride of a lifetime.
That's amazing. Let me ask you something, because when I was doing some additional research and how the company has matured, you've got a tag now called the New Natural Concept. Talk a little bit about what that. I think you touched on it a little bit right now, but for everyone listening and watching, tell a little bit about what the New Natural Concept is.
Yeah, so the new natural is basically the natural appearance of today, meaning that you can indulge and you can engage and you can receive cosmetic treatments, whether that be surgical, whether that be non-surgical. And it doesn't have to be that bad actor who looks super unnatural and obvious. And, the majority of our patients just want a little pick-me-up. They want to slow down the aging process. They don't want to look unnatural. They don't want to have big duck lips and they don't want to have, crazy Spock eyebrows. They really want to take care of themselves. And it really does start with just that self-care and self-love. And I think once they get a taste of that, they realize that it's something that they can do and still look like themselves, but maybe a little bit of a refreshed version. And it doesn't have to carry that stigma of what previous procedures have had in the past. And so I really feel that people are now thinking of these types of procedures as an empowering treatment, and that they can do this with their head held high and not be ashamed of saying, yes, I do Botox, yes, I do filler or laser or whatever, because people actually are intrigued by these treatments, whether they want to believe it or not. I mean, I think a lot of us all do want to try to look and feel our best. And it's not about vanity. I hate that word. And I do have a quote going on about, how vanity it's not a positive word, it's actually a negative word. And it breaks my heart when people come into my treatment chair and they're like, I never thought I'd be this vain getting treatment, for my wrinkles or whatever. And it's so much not about that. It's the exact opposite. It's about the way you feel and how you want to, go forward in life with your best foot forward.
I love that. You've got two primary services or classifications of services that you offer, right? The elective medical procedures and the personal beauty services.
Correct.
COVID has kind of shut the whole world down. So I understand that one of those arms is now on pause. Talk to us a little bit about what the difference is between those two branches of Destination Aesthetics.
Yeah, so we're a medical spa, so it's kind of confusing to some people on what that is, because you have the word medical and then you have the word spa, and it's kind of that marriage together where you offer is now being defined as personal cosmetic services, or personal beauty services rather. And when COVID hit and everything shut down, personal beauty services, meaning kind of like the cosmetology work, meaning hairdressers and people doing skincare and estheticians, they were kind of lumped into one category. And since when we reopened, everyone was able to come back together. And then when they had to reverse that reopening, the personal beauty services got shut back down again. With the second reopening now, the cosmetologists can come back and work indoors with restrictions. However, they've separated the estheticians and the cosmetologists, and the cosmetologists can go back, but the estheticians cannot yet. And so the personal beauty services part of our business is still closed, but the elective medical procedure side, meaning anything that's done by a licensed medical professional, such as cosmetic injectables and laser, those kinds of things, we have been able to remain open for services for our patients.
Okay. And I'm pulling up your site right now with the COVID-19 instructions, because I think you even talk about if someone had an appointment already booked, how to go about either getting that rescheduled or whatever the case may be. So that's good that you're doing what you can, right, for your clients during this incredibly crazy time. So
yes, doing what we can. Exactly. We're trying to obviously do everything the right way as best we can with the best intentions and obviously the safest of protocols. When we reopened the first time, we had 2,000 appointments to reschedule. Wow. So what was healing for all of us coming back to work was the excitement that people had on the other end of the phone when we said, hey, we're here to reschedule your appointment. And everyone, like some people were literally like screaming out of the phone, because, when everyone's sheltering in place and feeling a little frumpy, this was really exciting for people, and therefore just brought us back to life even faster as providers, providing these services for people as part of their healing process and part of our healing process too.
Let me ask, what of all of the services that you normally provide, COVID lockdown and shutdown not including, what's the most popular service that your medical spas provide?
It definitely is Botox. I think because it has the biggest reach for patients. It's what most of our patients do get. It's kind of what you would consider like the gateway treatment. But my favorite one to perform is actually dermal fillers. So that would be like Juvederm and Restylane are kind of the household names, because I've treated people beyond just the lip enhancement and the cheek enhancement. I've treated people who have scars from congenital scars. I have had, treated people who have been have dysmorphia from injuries, like getting kicked in the face
Mm-hmm.
with a
Hmm.
horse and had disfigurement. And so you can really use that almost as a sculpting tool to really create dimension and symmetry and enhancements on the face where people never thought that they could. Cleft lips and giving someone, a more natural looking lip that didn't have the scar. So those to me are ones that are really transforming and keep me going with those types of treatments.
All right. Let me ask now. Let's talk about Joshua.
My
Got the man
husband,
there.
Joshua,
Let's talk about the man there. So I know he's full time on staff, right? He is a DAG or
he
is
is
it,
a
he's a
DAG,
DAG.
destination.
Okay.
Yes, he's a destination aesthetics guy. Yep,
And
he
reason
is
okay, and
full
the reason I
time.
bring that up, I wonder what's the ratio, I guess, of men coming in for services. I'm really, would be intrigued to know, do you see more guys coming in actually to get some services from you guys?
Yes, you
Okay.
guys need love too, right? You
Well,
get
well,
left out.
let me know. I'll be there. You just open up in Roseville. I'll be there next week.
I'm going to hold you accountable to that.
Uh,
Yeah, so yes, my husband is a great spokesperson because he has done it all. Check, 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 check. Everything that we offer, he's done. So, but I'd say that the male demographic is one of our most rapidly growing demographics across the board. Right now, I'd say at our practice, it's about 10 to 15%, but growing rapidly. I'd say right now it's more like on average about 15%. We
okay.
see a lot of men entering into the field of cosmetics because I'd say like the majority of them are either in their 50s or 60s, or sorry, 40s or 50s, or they're in their 20s. So the 40 and
Hmm.
50-year-olds are like, hey, I'm trying to compete in a workforce with the millennials. And, I kind of need that one up and that, upper edge in my
Right.
professional field. So that's why actually a lot of men enter in that age group, or it's because their wife's like, hey, you need to get some work done because this is like reverse aging and you are on the wrong path. So no, I'm just kidding. But that is one other reason why they come in that age group.
All right. I love it. I'll be in there. We'll see. Jen may send me over there to get a little tightening up or something. Whatever there before too long. I'm 50. I'm over 50 now, so I gotta at least look the part or something.
No,
Um,
I've seen what your mom looks like. She looks beautiful. You have good
thank you.
genes, James.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me ask another interesting question. I guess what would be, and if there are, what are the biggest misconceptions about the services that you provide? What would stop someone from maybe coming to get you? Because they're searching on the internet or they're hearing from someone else, or they've got the wrong information. What are you typically hearing from folks that are not in the know, and how can you educate them? What are the biggest misconceptions?
Oh, there are so many misconceptions about our field, so many. I really think it has to do with the number one stereotype is that if you get Botox, you're frozen, you can't move, you're expressionless. I can definitely tell you that my kids and my husband know when I'm upset that I can still, move my eyebrows, I can still frown and make that scowl face. But I think that a lot of people just feel that, you're going to go from zero to like Joan Rivers in like one syringe of filler. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions. And most of our patients are in for skincare. So they can come and they get that credit card charge, and their husband's like, what is Destination Aesthetics? Oh, they do all those Botox and blah, blah, blah. But it's really like, no, I just got a skincare treatment. I got a medical grade skincare treatment to help with my acne scarring or to help with skin rejuvenation. And we do so much more in our field that doesn't, entail people looking unnatural and having a negative outcome.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Along those lines, we got a question here about, are there any non-invasive skin darkening procedures that you provide?
Yeah, to help treat skin darkening from aging, absolutely. We have, I mean, everything that we do is non-surgical and really non-invasive. So for the darker skin types, we have we have protocols for those skin types. It's basically options for all different skin types, ages, skin conditions. We have medical grade skincare products that we have prescription based. We have cosmetic laser. We have a lot of different treatment options, including microneedling that's non-surgical. But what's fun is that we like to prove to people that we're actually giving you an outcome. So if you came in for hyperpigmentation of the skin, whether it's from melasma, from pregnancy, or just photo damage from lifelong sun exposure, we have a camera that can show, it's called a reveal camera, and it can show a photo aging at a cellular level where we can show the degree of vascularity, the degree of pigment. So when we incorporate a treatment, we can actually objectively show you on these high resolution pictures improvements. So you're not only seeing improvements with your naked eye, you're actually seeing at a cellular level, the pigment that's being picked up by this camera in your results. And so we like to prove to you that what you're investing in, your time, your money, that it's actually working.
Love it, love it. You mentioned, was it micro beading, and I was looking through your Instagram a few weeks ago, and you were sitting there, and somebody was with the pen on your face. Talk a little bit about that. Now, explain the process. And all right, did that hurt? Because if that's like needles pointing into your face like that, I don't know if I could. I might be scared to do that. I don't know.
I'm so comfortable with needles pointed at my face. It's kind of sad, but yeah.
We could do an online demo right now if you want to. If you've got like the microbeading, we can do that right now.
Unfortunately, I don't. But so the microneedling, we have the FDA-approved skin pen, and it has 12 microneedles that are basically micropuncturing the surface of your skin. And by doing that, you're creating collagen and resurfacing the surface of the skin. So think about aerating a lawn for more grass growth. You poke all the holes in the lawn. So this is basically like aerating your skin, aerating your face. So you have tens of thousands of micro punctures to the skin, and the brain interprets it as a pressure, not as 12 individual needles going into your skin. So it feels like a little bit, it doesn't hurt. It does hurt on the forehead because we don't have a lot of fat on the forehead, but this just kind of feels like a very aggressive abrasion, honestly. It looks way worse than it is, because I know people see the blood and they see, maybe a little twinge here and there when I'm like, but it's really not that bad. And what I love about it is that it's all natural. There's little to no downtime, because you can go home and like literally scare your significant other, your kids, by coming home with blood on your face, but you wash it off, and it just only takes a few days to have literally the best skin of your life.
No, I will admit, I watched that procedure, and I cringed a little bit, but it was amazing what it looked like it did. So maybe that'll be my first treatment at Destination Aesthetics, when I'll go there and get the micro needling.
And I dare you.
See, don't. All right, if Joshua does it with me, then I'll do it. He's probably already done it, right?
He's done it a million times. Yes.
He's probably doing it right now, right? He's probably.
No, he wouldn't do that to himself, because he barely lets anyone touch his face. He's probably my worst patient ever. Sorry, Josh.
That's all right. And this is being recorded, Josh, so it's going to be here forever.
Yes.
Let me ask you about from an entrepreneur perspective, right? There are a lot of folks. Also, there are a lot of folks right now, right, with this whole lockdown of the planet, as I keep calling it, that are looking at doing something, or maybe taking this pause as an opportunity to do something that they're really passionate about, something that they've been wanting to do, either full-time or a side hustle, whatever the case may be. What advice would you give to an entrepreneur just starting out, right, in terms of some best practices, some things to consider, gotchas? Things that you've gone through since 2011, right? Just some quick ideas that you can give to folks.
Oh gosh, I have learned so much along the way, but probably my best take home advice is to stay humble and invest in a really good team. And probably the gotcha that was really reinforced just this year with COVID is that you only have so much control over X, Y, and Z. So
Hmm.
really stay focused on cash flow and your KPIs, and really stay true and communicate well with your team. I mean, the list goes on and on, but one of the things that I've really been trying to focus on as a leader is really listening. And I think that this is something that hopefully we have all been forced to pause and to really open our ears, our hearts, our minds, our souls, and really listen at what's going on in the world and in business and at home. If anything, that's where I really have tried to take the silver lining in all of this COVID stuff and
Yeah.
trying to really figure out some solutions, because if we don't change and if we don't evolve, then there's really no point to anything. There's really no point to relationships, to business, all of that stuff.
That's true.
So that's where I feel is that it's really important, is to really take time to listen to your intuition, and all of those types of things. But that is a loaded question.
That is. Look, I instigate and I ask those types of hard questions. But you mentioned two phrases in there that resonate with me, and I don't want to gloss over them. You talked about the KPIs, the key performance indicators, and those are really critical from any business perspective, right? If you don't know what you're doing, how do you know you're doing it right? Right?
Hmm.
What are the things that drive the business? You know, what makes not just the revenue, but what makes the stakeholders happy, what makes the clientele happy, whatever the case may be. But you know what those key performance indicators are, and when you reach them, how do you get to that next one? So I think that was incredibly key, and I really appreciate the fact that you referenced yourself as a leader, right? Because I mean, I listen to words a lot, right? And that really means a lot, as opposed to saying I'm the owner, I'm the CEO, I'm the manager, or you know whatever the case. But for you to reference yourself, rightfully so, as a leader, that means folks are looking to you for proper direction, looking to you for insight. You've got the goal of the whole organization in grasp, and you're taking your team along with you. And I really commend you on that. I mean, those are some critical things that I didn't want to just gloss over. So I wanted to give you some shouts out and some kudos on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's next? What's going on next? Now you got four.
Hmm.
I could see another location, maybe up in Tahoe or somewhere else in California. You know, if we want to break some groundbreaking news here and say where the next destination aesthetics is, I have no problem with that. No.
How about this? I'll make my next location announcement live with James on
There we
ITN
go.
Live. Yes,
There it is. You
promise.
know what?
So
I'll
what's
take
next?
that.
Oh gosh, I honestly, what's next right now is to try to get some stability and to prepare for the unknown, which is this winter. After that, it's kind of like hitting the reset button. And I just realized that benchmarking from before is good to know what we can work back up to.
Yeah.
But everything's kind of on reset right now, and I just really want to stay present for my team. And we just can't tolerate people calling. We can't tolerate people coming to work sick right now. So, and for through this whole winter. So I even told Joshua that he needs to kind of step up his game and learn different roles in the business, because hey, we had two people out sick this last week just because they had a sore throat and a runny nose and they had to go get tested. So during that time they can't be at work, and it's not even flu season yet. So I told
Oh,
him he needs to step it up, and this is what we're kind of bracing for, is just really getting through the winter, and then after that hopefully things will be on the right path, and either we'll get a vaccine or I
yeah.
don't know. But hoping for a little bit more of a steadfast, consistent return, and getting back on track with all of our numbers and our goals that we
Makes
will resume from March of 2020.
makes sense. Makes sense. Let's see here. Oh, I love the show. Look, Karen Villalobos, she was there. Now,
Hi,
Karen,
Karen.
what did you do? Did you do the micro beading? No, what is it? I can't. You can't take me anywhere. What was it called again?
Micro needling.
That too. Yes. Oh my gosh, I had to get it right. She Karen's good, folks. Karen is good people.
Thanks, Karen. We try our best to obviously create the best experience under the conditions that we have. So I appreciate your comments so much. Thank you.
Now, I'm a technologist at heart, and you know that. And I preempted you because I don't like to, I didn't want to throw this on folks and have them thinking and looking at the camera just in a glazed overlook. So I've got to ask you, what is the piece of technology that you use kind of on a daily basis that you go to that you can't live without? Is it an app? Is it a piece of hardware? What is it that's always with you that keeps you sane from a technology perspective?
Well, sane and also insane. How's that? Sane and insane. No, I told you my answer was going to be really boring. It's my iPhone. However, I am a lover of all Apple devices, and my big thing is leveraging your time spent. So at home, I work off 3 devices. So I have my iPhone sitting in the keyboard, I have my iPad Pro on a keyboard, and then I have my computer. So that's how I like to try to get things done when I'm at home. But at work, it's really just my iPhone, the apps that we use. One is called Zello, Zello, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
hello. And it's basically like an app that's a walkie-talkie. So remember those little earbuds that some people use at like Sephora and things, when they're communicating with the team? We tried those and they didn't work out because they're cumbersome. And then you have one ear occluded. You can't hear what
Yeah.
the patient's saying. So we love the app Zello. So we use that a lot because you can literally Zello someone overseas as long as you have an internet or a Wi-Fi connection or whatever, LTE. You can basically converse like a walkie-talkie. So we love to use that. And then I got introduced to Slack this year, and we changed
Okay. Nice.
our team from Crew, which is another organizational app for communication. We switched over to
Hmm.
Slack, and that has like changed my world. So
Yeah.
thank you, Betsy, for that amazing recommendation. It's changed my life.
Slack is wonderful. I use that in a number of communities that I'm in as well. So that's pretty cool. There
Yes.
she is. There's the Mrs. chiming in. There she
Hi,
is.
Jennifer. I love you so much. I miss you. I love your family. Oh, you're so sweet. Your
No,
wife is amazing, James. Oh
she
my goodness.
definitely is. She's the one that keeps it going for sure. I just show up once in a while. That's it. Hopefully I can still get in the front door every now and then. But so she mentioned something though. What she's Obagi, is that a service or what is that? She mentioned that.
Obagi is a medical grade skincare line that was
Okay.
formulated by Dr. Obagi, gosh, probably like almost 3 decades ago now. So yeah, it's been around for a long time and we've carried it. That was actually the first line that I carried at Destination Aesthetics. And it's kind of like what ain't broke, don't fix type situation because it definitely still performs despite all of the new and, new lines coming out. So yeah, I love Obagi too.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate that. So let me ask you this. Where can people continue to stay in contact with you? We've got the website, and I will definitely in the show notes and after I publish this on the site, make sure that folks have the Destination Aesthetics website so they can see all of that, especially with all that important COVID-19 information, so they know about services. But is there any other location that folks can know about what's going on with you and your entire crew?
I just say social media is probably the best. On Instagram is probably where we're the most engaged with people because we push a lot of stuff over to Facebook. But we're trying to get a little bit better about embracing new apps, which like TikTok and all of those things.
Yeah.
I just feel really cumbersome on that. But anyway, I'm just not funny on that. So anyway, I probably would say social media, and we're actually in the process of uh, making a new website, and I'm super
Okay.
excited for that. So that's going to be a lot more interactive, definitely a lot more updated, and will be a great reference for people to stay in contact.
Awesome, awesome. And now, technology-wise as well, two more things. I noticed you have a Android app for scheduling.
Yes,
See,
yes, we do.
look. I do my research. I know what's
You
happening.
did.
I'm
Yes,
just so. Are you going to bring one of those to the Apple platform as well?
we do. We have an app for the Apple platform
Okay,
and we have one for Android. So
okay.
I can definitely say that the Android one had a few more snags to work out when it was in development, but I think it's up to par now. But yeah, you are on top of your game. You know exactly
Nice.
what's going on.
I know what's happening. I know what's happening.
You do.
So we got a question here from Eric. Do your spas offer cryo procedures? Wow. Eric wants to get into some cryo. Is that something that you offer as well?
So we offer cool sculpting for non-surgical and non-invasive fat reduction that is permanent. So
Interesting.
you have different technologies on how to permanently reduce fat non-invasively. And one is through heat, which you can imagine is really hot and hard to tolerate that type of heat to the degree where it becomes where it actually kills a cell versus cold, the skin goes numb, so you actually don't feel it as in pain. So cool sculpting is easily much more tolerable, in my opinion, than any heat-based device, and much more reliable because patients can tolerate the settings necessary to kill that fat cell permanently. So it's pretty awesome. We have two body toning devices or body sculpting devices now. We have cool sculpting where you can literally lay there, watch Netflix, and freeze off your fat. And then we have now Cool Tone, which basically tones the muscles and through electromagnetic energy. And one treatment in 30 minutes to your abdomen is equivalent to doing 20,000 sit-ups. So,
Oh my good. Okay, because
yeah,
I hit the sit ups pretty good, in my captain's chair when I get to the gym. So look, that may be part of my routine as well. I love that. I love that.
yeah. So a lot of fun with the body sculpting category these days.
Awesome, Shawna, you're amazing. Thank you very much for taking some time. I'm glad that a lot of folks were able to chip in and ask some questions as well. Because again, these are the questions that probably folks are either hesitant to ask, but want to know, and to have an expert like you being able to address those, and especially in a very non-threatening way, I think helps to maybe bring some more folks to the medical spa in the near term. You can bring me, so I'm gonna come and check it out myself.
So I have you scheduled for microneedling next
Oh
week.
my gosh.
Cool tone. What else? Jen's gonna get some Obagi, a facial treatment when we can open that side back up.
Let me end this broadcast right now before I end up paying. I'm already paying for a UCLA college tuition, so
I
I'm not sure how
know.
much Obagi I can afford. So no, we'll definitely work something out. I think maybe I'll get the family rate. No,
You definitely will get the family rate
I'll
for sure.
come cut the grass or something. Whatever I got to do. No.
Yes.
Shauna, thank you very much again for your time. We appreciate you. It is amazing to hear and see how successful you are and how successful your organization is. I love the fact again that you're leading from the front. You're leading with all of the team members that you have. It's amazing to see that Josh was involved too. So you've got the whole family involved on this journey, and I wish you nothing but success as you move forward.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate that, and thanks to all of you guys tuning in. We couldn't do it without you, and I'm just one person, so I'd like to give a shout out to my team and my family. Literally everyone is involved just as much as me, so thank you.
You got it. Be good to yourself. Talk to you
All
soon.
right. Thanks, James.